Hello, my little goblinos. We're back at it again, and I've been getting a lot of questions. People complaining about the structure deck, saying, man, Fatsoid, this structure deck is not very good. And I would say, yeah, you're right. But I will say, if you want to play some fun archetypes, like you want to play like Blackluster Soldier, you pretty much have a lot of the BLS cards right here. You also get a pretty good Link monster, so buying one of these isn't that too bad. And if you wanted to play Gaia, Gaia was kind of unattainable before because, like, look how many ultra rares you need to get for Gaia. You're, like, just getting the fusions. I guess that's it. Maybe it's not that crazy. I really wish they included, there's a card they didn't include that's a Blackluster Soldier card that is called Primal Seed, which is also an ultra rare. I have no idea why it's an ultra rare, but it's also an ultra rare. I really wish they included that. I feel like the ultra rares they included are kind of lackluster. I mean, these are good, but I like with how lackluster these ultra rares are, I feel like they could have included that one more. Also, they could have also included maybe a new card like the Gaia XZ monster. That would have been pretty neat too. But we're gonna go into what you could possibly make with this deck. Alright, hello, and this is what I was talking about with using the structure deck. So this is half of the structure deck. Half of the structure deck is BLS, half is Gaia. We are doing Gaia today, and this is what the deck looks like. If you're wondering why we're not running any of the other Gaia cards, it's because they suck ass. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, a lot of these cards aren't very good. Like, you're not playing this, not playing this, not playing that. Like, these are all bad. Like, the only good ones are like this, and it is somewhat debatable. It is actually somewhat debatable. You can actually, like, Curse of Dragonfire is somewhat of a card that you could technically include. And the reasoning why is because most of the time with Curse of Dragon anyway, you're searching for the fusion spell, right? You're searching for Spiral Fusion. This card has the fusion kind of built into it, right? And on top of that, this card also can, you can use it to pop field spells. So if you're playing against Runic and stuff, you could play it. So we opted not to use that, but instead we're using Soldier, the Gaia, the Fierce Knight instead. So, yeah. So the whole point, OTK your opponent with Spiral Spear Strike. This lets us do piercing damage. And we either do that with Galloping Gaia or we do that with Gaia, the Magical Dragon Knight. So you guys are going to see some cool games. I got a lot of good ones. I really enjoyed playing this deck, and we'll talk more about that in the recap. But let's get into the games. I got a good amount for you. We got 6 in total today. So let's get to it. Hello, everybody. We're here, and we're playing against Reddington, and he's playing Mathbag. Kind of lame. So we are playing in the Duelist Cup, by the way. I thought this would be a fun deck to play in the Duelist Cup, so that's what we were doing. We were climbing the Duelist Cup. Stop the circular. Okay. Technically, by the way, I don't know if that's ever the right play. You probably might want to save, since we just have Imperm. Probably save it for this card, because this card lets him search anything out of the deck. But since he has Cyanite Mining, it literally did not matter. So now he's going to have Super Fractorial, and he gets Diamite Meter. So it's kind of annoying. He's pretty much going to be able to full combo here. So full combo, he's going to end on like a Wicked, IP, and a Lingaribo. I'm pretty positive. Kind of annoying. Still fine. This is actually fine for us to OTK with. But it's really going to depend on how he plays his cards, I guess. So, it passes over to us. We got Gateway of Chaos. Not really the best card we want to get, but... Alright, so now there's a second effect. There's a second effect to Curse of Dragon, and you're going to see that shit in action. So, the great thing about the Gaia the Dragon Knight is your opponent does not read cards either, right? So, we go into Gaia the Magical Knight, right? I guarantee my opponent's not reading this. So, what this card does, it makes it... We're in battle phase already. That's a little quick. But this card makes it so I can target a Gaia, the Dragon Champion on the field. And any monsters that have less attack than it currently has, I pretty much can Dark Ruler no more of the board. So he didn't read. I'm pretty sure he didn't read when he did this, and he just let me. He pretty much just let me get it off, and then he couldn't actually activate anything, which is actually hilarious. We gain 2,600, and then he concedes. Goodbye! Alright, we're here with game number 2, and we're playing against Oppa! 9,000. And he's playing Magistus. Really not much I could do here. I have no hand trap, so... You guys are probably looking at my hand and saying, wow, this guy's like... And you know what's a great thing? The great thing is I usually stream when I get a lot of this footage. And I have TTV down here, so a lot of people will know it's me, so they'll go in, they'll check Twitch to see if I'm actually streaming. And I feel like when you're looking at my hand, you probably like so if someone stream snipes, they're probably like, what the hell is he playing? Like, this shit sucks. Which is really funny to me. So, I'm not saying this person was doing that. I'm just saying it's kind of funny. So... This is actually a very strong board by him. I pretty much can't special summon fusions, can't special summon Xyz, and I am, he also has effects coming on over here. So I have Droplet though. So I am going to Lightning Storm, and I am going to Droplet. Gonna hit all 3 of his cards. Boom, boom, boom. That pops that. And then I play Galloping Gaia, which lets me search for my Cursive Dragon. And this is an easy OTK. He plays Maxi, kind of annoying, but we're only having 2. Pretty much just gonna special summon twice here. We could special summon more than that if we go into the rank 5. But since he has that, I don't want him drawing into an out, because that'd be the last thing I want right at this point. So you're going to go into Gaia the Dragon Champion. So this is the one that doesn't get big, but it searches this for the Spiral Spear. But this also has a secondary effect. So this effect also, when you would declare attack on a monster, you can change the battle position. So since these cards are super weak right now, we can just kill our opponent just by changing the battle position of the cards. And just wailing into them. So Oppa is goodbye. He's donezo, baby girl. Hello, we're here for game number 3. We're playing against 999. At least it's not 666. I would have been pretty disturbed. I would have been shaking in my boots. Playing against Branded. This guy's playing a weird Branded deck, though. I'm gonna say that because he's playing probably a way more degenerate one because he's playing Krista. But we're gonna imperm Albion, and I was saying on stream, I'm like, well, if he has Brandon and Red, this is gonna be really annoying. But he has Brandon and Red, is what it is. Whatever. I was also thinking it could be super funny, because if he had, pretend he had only hand traps, and the hand traps weren't anything like Maxi or something like that. Him doing this Brandon and Red, he still has to do Albion. He has nothing in the graveyard. So Albion, I was thinking, I'm like, maybe he has some fusion off his Mirror Jade. I was hoping that was gonna be the case, but that's not the case. He has an effect Veiler, so he can go to Masquerade. Whatever. It's alright. Surely we definitely don't beat this, right? So we're gonna instant fusion. He's gonna Maxi. We're gonna have to call by the Grave that. The last thing I need to do is give this guy any cards. But yeah. Also, by the way, guys, we actually have a tournament going on today. I think Friday the 17th, March 17th, 2023. So we have a tournament going on today. The rules are in the Discord. The Discord is linked down below. It's going to be 5 ultra rares that you can use in your deck, 7 super rares, and we have a massive like 100 card ban list. So pretty much no big, like, there's gonna be no like super overpowered deck. So right here we're going to Sky Galloping Gaia. Reactivate its effect. So this, I was actually hoping, I'm not even kidding you, I was really hoping that he wouldn't have he wouldn't activate Mirror Jade's effect. I was really hoping he wouldn't do that. Like, he was going to forget what this does, because this would have made all his cards. Obviously, it doesn't work. Unfortunately, he does. So now I have to activate Millennium Eyes. I suck it up. The reason why is because I get extra damage off from attacking 2 things. And I would have got extra draws off. Because I'm going to play Spiral Knight. Remember, every time I attack something in defense with Spiral in the field, I get to draw 2 cards, discard 1. So we get Book of Eclipse, Droplet, set, whatever. He brings back Masquerade Dragon. I'm like, okay, well, as long as he doesn't pop me, I think I'm fine. Because I have Droplet. I can easily use Droplet, send Galloping Gaia. Galloping Gaia is not very important right now, so... He goes to Lubellion. And then he's going to activate Tragedy. Kind of annoying. But here we go. We're going to negate this. Now this is kind of annoying because he is going to be able to add the Aliber. It's really tough, honestly. I feel like he shouldn't lose this. So he goes into Aliber. He grabs that. He goes, so this is actually the funniest shit ever. He adds Fallen. Boom. So this is his play. So you guys might be wondering, why the hell is he doing what he's doing? So he has no more cards in his extra deck, right? That mention Fallen of Albaz, so he actually can't use Mirror Jade's effect. Because normally Lubellion fucking sucks itself in. But look, he's at 1, 2, 3, 4. So he has no more cards to actually send to the graveyard for the pop, right? And so his only option is to attack and then get the effect going off so it pops my card. So instead, I wanted to Book of Eclipse because if I flip his cards face down, he is going to draw, I think he draws 4 from it, which is horrible. But, dude, I'm going to be able to attack here. That's going to be 2,600 here. And I draw 2 cards, attack here. And if I top deck something decent, this is how I see my only shot of winning, pretty much. But this guy could definitely still win. I'm just saying that. Because me activating Book of Eclipse is definitely not, like, auto-lose on his part whatsoever. So I flip everything face down. And this guy just concedes. What a crybaby. I feel like he definitely could have won that. But maybe he didn't calculate that this card, when it flips face up, is going to only be 2,600. Maybe he still thought it was going to be 5,200. So he's like, oh, I lose. Yeah, well, that's not the case, though. But we would have definitely... It would have been a close one. Depends on what we top. Hello, everybody. We're here with game number 4, and our hand is actually looking relatively juicy. Our opponent just sets a card and passes. So we're going to add... So I only included this to just show how this deck can OTK if your opponent doesn't really have anything. He's going to Ash this. This is fine. I was just doing this to bait out Ash. Because I don't want him doing it to curse. Even though we don't... Honestly, if he Ash curse or Effect Veiler curse here, we're still fine. Because we don't need Spear Strike. So we're going to Fusion. So if... This is what you do, by the way, if you want to get the most damage off possible. And you know your opponent's really not going to have anything to stop you. Since I have Crossout Designator, I know my opponent's not going to stop me. So it's pretty fine. Like, if this is Imperm, I can just cross out it. So, whatever. So we grab Spiral Fusion, and then you could Spiral Fusion, and you could use cards in your graveyard as long as you have this card in the field. So it's also an extra 2,000 attack. So here we attack. We attack, he's left to 800. We activate Gaia. Boom, summon it. And this is how you OTK with Gaia. This is what I was talking about when I was saying, oh, how do you OTK with this card? Ooh, well, that's how you do it. Alrighty. Let's go to game number 5. Hello, everybody. We're here with game number 5. I'm playing against IGI Man Fan. And he is going to play Kepler. I did not Ash the Piri map. And the reason why you guys might be saying you're a psycho is because I'm like, if he wants to pay 4,000 life points, it makes my job of OTKing a little easier. I'm also going to point out that, like, my hand is horrendous, right? I need all the help I can get in getting his life points lower. He's already down to 3k. Things are already kind of looking up for me. He's going to go into Wave King Caesar. King Tail. And I got Lightning Storm, but the thing is, Lightning Storm on Gilgamesh is horrible. It's not good to do. So he goes another Gilgamesh, just to guess to get that in the graveyard so he can fusion. He goes, this is a weird fusion. But it's not, I guess it's fine. So this guy ended up joining our chat. Like I said, remember how people come into my chat because they see that I have TTV in the name. So he ended up coming in our chat. And I'm going to explain what went on here. So I'm going to end up activating Lightning Storm. He activates Maxi. I'm not even going to Ash Blossom the Maxi. Because, like, I have no plays. Like, why am I going to Ash Blossom if I have nothing to do? Alright, so Gilgamesh is going to activate. He special summons this. And I asked him, I was like, why did you summon this and not Siegfried? Because Siegfried is a synchro monster that lets you start negating spells and stuff. And he said it was a misclick, so unfortunate for him. I activate Terraforming. I got Gateway. Activate Gateway. Add Gaia. So now I'm like on top deck mode. I need to find Curse of Dragon. I need to find Catapult Turtle's fine too. I can get the field spell, Galloping Gaia. Book of Eclipse. So the reason I set Book of Eclipse, probably not going to be that good against him at this board state. But also I'm hoping, I wanted him to activate this card's effect to destroy all the spells and traps. Because I see as a Kepler, and if I don't want him getting, like, just constantly churning out Kepler. I mean, I have the Ashes, but I just didn't want to deal with it. He ends up topping a Kepler, so I guess it doesn't matter. So I end up just ashing him. Ashing the Kepler. And, yeah, he just attacks me for 3k. Okay, cool, neato. Remember, he's at 3,000 life points. I'm just like, you know what? This is what I'm thinking right now. I'm like, I'm attack this guy for 2,300, and I can hope that on his turn, he activates this, summons Kepler again, and then when he goes to the battle phase, I can Book of Eclipse the board. I still wouldn't have done anything. I'm not sure what I was thinking. I think I'm a little slow. He ends up popping the back row. I had a battle plan for this. I just decided to YOLO it. You know what? This is like the most disturbed match I've played in a while. You draw a Catapult Turtle, so if I just waited a turn, we could have done something here. We switch this to defense. We attack it. So this is a big risk on my part. I tribute the Gaia so I can add Gaia to my hand, just so he doesn't, in case he had like a way of like Lightning Storm or something to pop my board or destroy my cards or anything like that. I would have to deal with it. Again, I let him use Parry Map. Fine, whatever. He uses Swirl. I'm gonna use Maxi. I know what the other card in his hand is, so. And then he attacks me. So if you guys are wondering why he didn't play the DD7, I'm pretty positive he already joined the stream. He probably seen I had Ash Blossom, so he's like, what the fuck's the point? So either way, I was going to get stopped. Yeah, he takes 2,000. I'm just going to lower his attack by 1,000, and we're just going to kill him with Gaia. So that was the wackiest game I've played, but that was a really like drawn out slugfest. That's all I'm going to say. That was a slugfest. It's kind of funny. Would that game have been super different if he went to Siegfried instead of the other card? It probably would. I think he would have had it because my draws were horrible. So all right, we're here with the final game, game number 6, and we saved the best for last. So actually, you guys can let me know what this. Do you think this game was the best game? I think it was the best game. So we ashed the starter. This was the last game of the stream, by the way. I was just kind of like, YOLO. I'm like, I was like, who cares? Like, how I looked at it is I'm like, well, if he has Called by the Grave, it's annoying. But if he doesn't have a good level 2 starter, like, he's just not even going to be able to get the free... Like he didn't activate Jet yet. So the nice thing about this is he doesn't have Smashers. Unless he naturally draws Smashers, which is pretty unlucky. He doesn't have Smashers because my deck has a hard time against, like, Spell and Trap if I don't have my board rights. So he goes into IP Masquerena. He's just doing a standard strike board. So this scared me. Not gonna lie, very scary. We're gonna activate Instant Fusion. Okay. We're gonna activate Book of Eclipse. He's gonna activate IP Masquerena. This is actually great for me, by the way. I activate Book of Eclipse. This guy goes into Appaloosa. So, if you guys don't know, Appaloosa can only activate itself once per chain. He activates Jet, that's fine. So, like, when he chains Appaloosa, I'm just going to change the Millennialize. And the fact he has a 3200 attacking monster on the field now, I can normal summon the Gaia. I thought he was going to go into Mech Knight Avermax, but, or something like that, which I was a little concerned about, but this is way better. So, you normal summon Gaia, summon Curse the Dragon. He's going to activate Appaloosa. I activate Millennialize. You want to know the funny thing here is, if he just activated Ghost Ogre against my Cursed Dragon, I just lose. Because then I have to activate Millennialize, and then he just chains Appaloosa to Millennialize. I literally lose if he does that, but he didn't, so pretty great. So, the way this is, by the way, this is going to be wacky, because the way this works is really weird. Because I guess this ends up turning this into an equip spell, so it just sends it to the graveyard. And since it sent it to the graveyard, I get the Curse of Dragon effect off. I literally didn't know that's how the interaction worked. Now we're going to do that. We're going for the most damage possible because we need to kill our opponent. And I am not kidding you when I tell you this saves our opponent's life. Him doing this saves our opponent's life. So, because you guys don't realize this, but like I was going to be able to go into Dragonite, attack this, do piercing damage, attack for 2000, and then tribute this, attack for 26, right? So this actually saves his life. I calculated lethal in my head. So, in my mind, I'm actually like, oh, okay, that's really annoying. So now I have to use a card in my hand. We go into Gaia the Galloping. We know he has Smashers, right? Because he just... Not Smashers. He has Starter. Because we know he added it. So, I'm like saying, well, I need Appaloosa off the top. I need something off the top good. I top deck Ash Blossom. Which counters his Starter. What a smelly little goblin. Activate Starter. I Ash Blossom it. And we just took down one of the best decks in the entire gosh darn format. Not too bad. Hello and welcome to the recap. Thank you for watching this far. If you love this content or like this content, please consider subscribing. It would help out plenty. We also do a lot of fun stuff on Twitch. You can join me on my links down below, or you can join the Discord where I send notifications when I go live. So all that's pretty great. We also have a tournament going on again for people if you missed it in the middle of the matches. We have a tournament going on today at March 17th, 2023. So if you want to come by, it's gonna be pretty cool. The rules are posted in the Discord. So how is the deck, right? How did the deck perform? The deck performed pretty good. It performed pretty much as well as I thought it was gonna be. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, you guys already knew this wasn't going to be the best deck, right? It was like, whatever. I've noticed if you got interrupted multiple times, like if you got multiple hand trap, you just did nothing. The deck just does nothing. And you might say that, oh, that's the same with a lot of decks. Yeah, but we're talking about, like, I normal summon Gaia to special summon Curse the Dragon. If he imperms Gaia, I just don't do anything. Unless I have Spiral Fusion already in my hand. So, we're talking about stuff like that. Also, if you have Spiral Fusion in your hand, I had a lot of games. I had some games where I would have, like, Spiral Fusion, Ash Blossom, Maxi, Galloping Gaia, in Book of Eclipse or something. The hand actually does nothing. Like, because the thing about Galloping Gaia, this card, you need at least one of the cards in your hand for it to actually do anything. We do run Terraforming, so technically we do run a lot of these cards. Like, think about Curse of Dragon. Technically, if we're talking about adding Curse of Dragon to hand, it's a little less cumbersome. But even Gaia is probably the more important card. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 plus pretty much 7 Gaias in the deck. Plus, if you want to count Galloping Gaia as like a way of searching it, Artillery Catapult Turtle does search Gaia or the level 5, but it doesn't add it to your hand. It summons it onto the field. I really wish this card, instead of it special summoning, you know what? I wish it was a special summon or add to hand or something. I wish it was like you pick and pick either or, but it isn't. So you gotta pick what you gotta do. I think you gotta, when you're playing this deck, you really have to go into the think tank of like, how can I kill my opponent? Because usually the longer the match is gonna go, the worse it is for you, considering you're playing this type of deck, which is like almost an all-in your face type deck. So yeah, I would say trying to kill your opponent as fast as possible. Probably the play. Book of Eclipse, remember, this also flips your cards face down as well. Wait, does it actually change all monsters? Yes. So this also flips your cards face down as well. So make sure you activate this card before you start doing other shenanigans. Instant Fusion, great card. But remember, if your opponent doesn't have a 2300 attacking monster on the field, you actually have to normal summon Gaia the Magical Knight first. And that's because this card, there's two stipulations. If your opponent if you control no monsters, or your opponent controls a monster with 2300 more attack, you can normal summon this. If you activate Instant Fusion and your opponent has a bunch of weak cards in the field, you're not going to be able to do it. I got away with it against the last opponent because I knew he was going to IP Masquerena into something big. I knew for a fact, since I was activating Book of Eclipse, he was gonna use all his cards. Because if he didn't use all his cards, he let the other cards stay face down. He knows I was gonna go kill them. Personally, I thought I was gonna go into Avermax because Avermax makes it so you have to attack the Avermax. You know what I mean? So I thought he was gonna go into the Avermax. So I was a little concerned there, but he ended up going to Apollosa, which is way better for us, and that's the only reason why we were able to do what we did. So, scale of 1 to 10, what would I rate the deck? Probably like maybe like a 6. We had like a pretty much like a 50-ish% win rate. We did climb, but it was like in the lower duelist ranks. Like we climbed from duelist rank 10 to 15. So yeah, we weren't 15 above. 15 above I know is a little bit more competitive, but we did play against every deck we played against, and most of the decks we won, or I would say 90% of the decks we played against were very like tier 1, like somewhere between tier 1 and tier 2, tier 3 decks. So we played against very competitive decks. We did not play against many meme decks like our deck, because this deck is on a tier list. It's a meme deck. You'll have fun with it. It's like Blue Eyes almost. You know? Like, Blue Eyes is a meme deck. If you guys don't think Blue Eyes is a meme deck, you're out of your mind. Yeah, I mean, try playing Blue Eyes in the event. You're not going to have too much fun. That all being said, was the structure deck purchases worth it? The 1,500 gems? I would say it was somewhat worth it. Like, the deck's fun, and I like the fact that it also came with the Blackluster Soldier cards, because I am a big fan of Blackluster. Like, it's one of the few cards I remembered from when I was younger. Like, this was like one of my favorite cards when I was a kid. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. My neighbor, one of my neighbors had it. I thought this card was so sick. Funny story. We went on to, dude, we were bad kids when I was a kid, but we did like a little plan, like me and my neighbor and my brother, to go to like this guy's yard. Dude, this guy was like a sophomore in high school. I'm talking about, we were like 8. I was like 8, and we went to go rob his Blackluster Soldier. We stole his Blackluster Soldier and Chaos Envoy, and we stole what was it, the Dark Magician of Chaos, and then he ended up calling the other kid because he knew immediately it was us, because apparently they have like CCTV and they could see us just going into the house and robbing it. He flipped the hell out. He just came back down he walked down the road, got his cards back, and just left. But like, I didn't feel bad about it because this kid is a sophomore in high school, and he was robbing us every day because we were just gullible idiot kids. He would like look at our binders, and then our binders would be missing cards, and we'd have no idea what cards were missing, and then they would appear in his binder. So I really didn't care. He really took advantage of us. It was just a stupid story. But yeah, I freaking love this card. This card's great. Like I said, the one card I wish they included was Primal Seed. Like, why was this not included? It's so annoying. I know it's not even a good card, but why is it an ultra rare? They could have just threw it in there, right? That'd be like coming out with the Jinzo deck and not including one of the ultra rare Jinzo cards. It's kind of silly. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know what you guys want to see next. All right, goodbye.